Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen. Be sure to join us at iTunes.com. By the way, I always say that the most important part of our lives is our health, and it is. However, when you become a father, everything changes.
Yes, it does.
Doesn't it, Paul?
Everything changes, absolutely, because you no longer are living for you. Your life is not yours anymore. It's for him or them or your daughter, your son, whichever it may be. And
I have one of each flavor. They're both great.
Sure. I mean, I just have the one, but like I said in the earlier segment, it's all about him. I mean, it removes you. You finally know what you're supposed to be doing on this planet, which is to be of service, and that's what the book's about. Charlie Bubbles is about being loving, helpful, and kind. And one of the qualities that the book character has, that Charlie has, my son has, is naturally born empathetic. Like, I didn't teach him this. I mean, he's concerned about other children and that their feelings count, which I find to be incredible resource. I don't know where he got that from, but
especially at such a young age.
Yeah, I put that into the books because I feel like the parents, this is a great thing for them to have, especially if you watch what goes on now in the news. You put the news on, kids are, disingenuous, they're disenfranchised, and they're doing these horrendous, horrific things to other people, and I think that's because they feel like they don't understand, not only their feelings, but how other people feel.
No, absolutely. I understand. I see that all the time, and that's why I get upset when I see, especially teenagers, just sitting in a restaurant with their family, with their iPhone or Android or whatever, and they're texting their friends. And I know what the text says. I'm bored. I got to get out of here.
Well, I've walked into many restaurants and see a couple sitting across from each other, both heads down.
Yes.
And texting. And my wonder is, are they texting to each other, what are you going to have? It's like what happened to people talk? This is the thing that's happened in Hollywood, too, that's a very odd phenomenon. For a business that really is about people and, entertainment, which means that, you get in front of people, they've eliminated this as part of the process to get a job. Now it's all about being put on tape and, there's there's an element of the human condition of touch or seeing somebody with their eyes, smelling, touching, seeing them, shaking hands, looking another person in the eye.
And now you do auditions from your iPhone.
Most of them, that's right. And that could be an arbitrary thing because I've produced, written, and directed my own stuff. And, they send you a tape, and you've got 50 or 60 people on a tape, and you rifle through them. You're just looking for a face. You're not looking at
there's no personality that you can really see. I agree. I've been on casting on both sides of the fence like that as a host, and I find I'd much rather go in and meet the director or the casting director to show what I can do. I mean, it just makes sense.
The other thing about that is you can change, if you're in a room with somebody, you can change their their preconceived idea of what's going on, because nobody knows really. They just want you to come in and be that part. But if you can get into a room with somebody, you can change their
perception. There's you can react to what you're hearing them asking for rather than just reading it. We only have a couple minutes more, so I wanted to ask you. You also have a new CD, which you just mentioned, Sing with Charlie Bubbles. Right. You sing, and you wrote 5 of the songs.
Yeah, I wrote actually 6 of the 7 songs on there. T.J. Sullivan, a blues man, great blues artist, he wrote a song for the characters, the Crows, in the Charlie Bubbles to Fenway, which is it's great because the Crows are like the bullies in the piece. So this is we tackle some bullying issues in the 3rd book. There are 4 books. Charlie Bubbles has The Adventures of Charlie Bubbles to Smartsville, which is a music related book. Mm-hmm. Has a lot of musical tones throughout that. Charlie actually becomes a drummer, and that's music bridges the gap, crosses over, any kind of tension and racial lines, that anything in society that we can, music draws us together and helps to build the bridges for peace and love and understanding, which is again goes back to the theme of what Charlie Bubbles is about.
And of course, making kids happy is what our job is as parents. And a happy kid tends to be a healthier kid.
Well, happiness is health, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and they both start with
Maybe
an age.
the next book is going to be what Charlie Bubbles eats, or we'll have some exercise. But he's always in a bubble flying around, so he
gets around then, that Charlie.
He does move around, Charlie Bubbles.
Our guest has been none other than paul-carafotes, and he is, by the way...
Carafotes.
Carafotes.
Carafotes. It's a very beautiful name, Mark.
Yeah, Carafotes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And he's featured in the new independent film, The Wolves of Savin Hill.
That's right. That's a Boston-based group of guys, story about Boston.
And I want to get the HBO thing plugged,
Criminal
too.
Justice, yes.
On HBO. Hey, Paul,
Judge
thanks for
Jerome.
joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Hey, Mark, I want to thank you, and I hope to speak to you again soon. And remember, charliebubblesbook.com or iTunes or Amazon.
And we'll also be up there on latenighthealth.com in case you don't get that. latenighthealth.com. All right. I'm Mark Allen. Coming up next, we're naming him the Love Doctor for February, and that is Dr. Dudley Danoff. And we'll be talking to him about love here on Late Night Health. Don't go away. More coming up.